For the past 2 days, I've made several references to God and to Jesus. Well, today I'm going to talk about science, but I will refer it also to the idea of God, but more importantly, to the subject of climate change. We as human beings have a very difficult time accepting things we cannot see, especially if they represent some kind of challenge to the way that we live. It may, for example, be the truth that smoking causes lung cancer. But if you're a regular smoker, if you're addicted to nicotine, it's a lot easier to convince yourself it doesn't relate to lung cancer, that you're not going to get lung cancer because you know somebody who lived to a very ripe old age and smoked and didn't get it. As proof of the fact that scientific information about the link between smoking and lung cancer does not really change people, we found that the profession, or one of the professions that is most consistently a smoking profession, is the nursing profession. And of course they should know better. So it's hard to change people. The same can be true of many things. We all tend to believe that car accidents happen to someone else. We don't really expect them to happen to us. And so we're shocked when that does happen. And because of that lack of faith in the connection between things like speeding, or taking other risks, because of the lack of that visible, immediate connection, we often do take those risks without thoughts about the consequences. We, as an affluent society, tend to ignore or deny the rather obvious fact that if we buy more things than we need, then it means that somebody else is going without. Somewhere else in the world, people will have less to live on for themselves. And this is especially true of food. The hardest things to believe are the ones that cost us the most if we did believe them. So, now we get to science and to climate change. The consensus amongst all the world's most eminent climate scientists is virtually unanimous. There's a problem, they say, with regard to climate change, and that problem has reached emergency level and beyond. Scientists, who are often employed by the government and therefore gagged from making political statements, are not known for speaking out, or especially not for breaking the rules. They cannot keep quiet any longer, however. The matter is extremely urgent, and the future of the world depends on us listening to them. So scientists are stepping out and leading the way for those who are willing to listen to them. But the world still continues to put their fingers in their ears. At the 25th United Nations Climate Change Conference, held just last week, submissions from the world's leading scientists were simply not on the table. The UN only wanted to hear opinions from world leaders, and year after year they have committed themselves to virtually doing nothing, by virtue of the fact that they restrict themselves to enforcing only unanimous or near unanimous agreements by all those nations. The problem we all have with the scientists is twofold. One, what they say demands immediate and drastic changes for all of us. But the other one is that we cannot see immediate and tangible evidence of climate change, like nuclear radiation. The climate change is invisible. We who believe the scientists imagine that we can point to a very hot day, or in this case, bushfires all over Australia, and say, see, there's proof of global warming. But those who are in denial just as easily point to a very cold day and say, see there, it's all a hoax. You see, the point is that a global rise of 1.5 or 2 degrees globally just can't be illustrated dramatically. Only the experts have studied the statistics well enough to be able to perceive what is really happening. But this is an issue which is too serious for us to play experts and for us to ignore the ones who really know. This is not a conspiracy involving virtually all of the scientists in the world. They know what they're talking about. They have the bigger picture. They have taken the exceptions and the anomalies into consideration, and still they agree. There is an emergency of the highest order, and we need to act now. So, how does all this relate to my understanding of God? Well, God too is invisible, but His creation is not. And what we are doing to His creation is wrong. Very, very wrong. Do we honestly think that we can keep doing that and not be punished for it? The Bible talks about something called the last days, when God intervenes in human affairs before it's too late. He does some really horrific things, but He does it because He's trying to save the planet, and at least some of the people on this wonderful planet. The Bible says He will destroy those who destroy the earth. I suggest that you watch the movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still. It's more entertaining than reading the Bible, but it gives the same lesson. The lesson is that we are forcing a loving God to decide. Will He let us destroy the planet and ourselves in the process, or will He kill off those who are destroying the planet in order to save the rest of us and save the planet? And how are we destroying the planet? Well, we're doing it by taking more than our share, and we're doing it by consciously poisoning the atmosphere with fossil fuels, even when we know what they are doing. Now, before I end, I want to put a plug in for a video that I scripted. It's called Scientific Method. It targets religious people, and it suggests the real message that Jesus Christ came to give the world has probably been better preserved in the halls of science than it has been in the cathedrals and chapels of the religious world. The link is on the screen, and I suggest if you want to make it a little bit shorter, you fast forward to about 8 minutes and watch it from there. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with more. Thank you.